How's it going, everybody? I'm the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. There'll be none before me, and there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Covey, the big guy, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed podcast this week with the news of the week, followed by your SmackDown and Raw reviews. Then I review my first real pay-per-view from the Thunderdome era, Royal Rumble 2021. We then have a drink of the week, followed by the reading from the Book of Rules, and then your Battle Droid of the week. But let's get into the news this week, as a new member of the Bloodline has been revealed. Apparently, WWE wants to bring in a new member. The son of Umaga, who is part of Reality of Wrestling. He has apparently been training for a while now. He's been training under Booker T. And apparently he says he is up next to join the Bloodline. I would actually really like to see that. They're really bringing in most family members, and this would make it more interesting if the Roman Reigns Rock feud does come into play at WrestleMania. You would have a real family dynamic split of maybe the Usos stick with Roman, and then you have Solo and this new guy go Zila. Zila is his name. So Zila Fatu, age 22. Wow, 4 years younger than me. And maybe he would begin going with The Rock, and then you would have Rikishi's son and Umaga's son with The Rock, and then you would have Rikishi's two other boys with Roman Reigns. And that would leave Sammy kind of on the outside. It would make you wonder, but at the same time, I would feel like Sammy would go with Roman. And as the Big Show claimed some egregious things against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, apparently he has accused Hunter Hearst Helmsley of holding him back in 2013. Apparently he was supposed to be a main part of SummerSlam, and Hunter was supposed to wrestle him at SummerSlam, but they did not do it because Hunter didn't feel it was time for the Big Show to get that push. You know, I can understand that. I feel 2013 SummerSlam could have been better with Hunter versus the Big Show, but, it's just you'll never know now. You'll never know what it could have been. These two did have a good kind of mini feud for WrestleMania 2000, but at the same time, it does make me wonder what this feud could have been. It was cool to see it, but at the same time, it would have been a little much. And for those of you who don't know, Mandy Rose was released from WWE last week. She was released because she had started kind of an OnlyFans page. I don't believe the site is OnlyFans. I believe it's like Fan Time or something. I forget what it's called. But she did have very provocative photos. And I'm going to throw my hat in the ring on this. I understand why WWE released her. I don't believe it was the right call. I understand why. I mean, you have deals with Mattel, Hasbro, Snickers, all these, and you're trying to be PG. If it was still TV-14, there would have been no question she would have probably been women's champion right now. She would have been probably the one to dethrone Ronda Rousey or something. But in the way it is, the landscape of today, it just doesn't seem acceptable for WWE if that's their belief. I don't care. Make money. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's your life. I'm not going to tell people how to live their lives. I understand WWE wanting to punish her, but the release seemed a bit much. You could have suspended her. You could have just fined her and said, hey, just take the racier pictures down, the ones that show everything. You can leave the more fun pictures. I get that, but you can't show everything. And I guarantee you she probably would have been like, all right, yeah, that's fine. I get that. But hey, apparently she's making $500,000 since the time of her release because of these pictures. So you know what? All right. Shout out to her. But, I understand them for being pissed at her, but at the same time, I side with I think they should rehire her and just say, hey, just take down the more racier pictures, but maybe leave up some fun pictures. Not too much. Don't show too much. But apparently Alondra Blaze says it wasn't. She has said talent under contract and your lawyer in the contract So you know what's right or wrong, and you know you're pushing to a certain extent. You know what you're dealing with. So basically, Alundra Blayze is saying, hey, you get what you sow. You reap what you sow. That's what you deserve to be released. It's so stupid for you to even think of doing that. So I don't agree with Alundra Blayze, but at the same time, I understand what she's trying to say. Again, we're coming from the era of when I was growing up. You would have Sable, you would have Chyna, you would have Lita and Maria Kanellis all posing naked in Playboy. But that was for WWE's dollar and WWE exposure. Nowadays, it's not. So, damned if you do with the company, damned if you don't. I understand what WWE is trying to say, but at the same time, it was stupid of them for trying to say it now. But I'm going to move on from that and move on to SmackDown. SmackDown kicked off with Damage Control versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. This was a fun match. Really enjoyed this match. It had some good moments of it really had a moment of mystery when a hooded woman attacked Liv Morgan. She punched her on the outside, causing them to really get distracted and then for Damage Control to pick up the win. This was very fun to see because everyone was tweeting, by the way. I really loved how Twitter really got involved on this. You have people like Chelsea Green, Janelle Dashwood, all these people tweeting like, oh, it's me. It might be me. It was then revealed later on social media that it was Xia Li. I think that was so stupid for them to reveal. They should have revealed it later on, maybe on a later episode of SmackDown, not on social media. That's just my opinion. We then get LA Knight saying Bray Wyatt has basically done everything he was returned to cry and dress like a clown and called Wyatt out to the ring, and Bray basically said, I'm going to give you one last chance to walk away because it isn't me who's attacking you, dude. Just walk away. Walk away. LA Knight then tried to attack Bray, and as Bray was down in the corner, Uncle Howdy appeared. So Bray Wyatt is not Uncle Howdy. I guess Uncle Howdy is probably a member of these Wyatt 6 that they were trying to come up with. It makes me wonder what's going on. Who is Uncle Howdy? Apparently people are saying it's Bo Dallas, and I wouldn't be mad if that was. I feel Bo Dallas was wrongly released. Like a lot of people. I feel like he's a talent that should still be in the company. But, hey, if he's back, he's back, and awesome to see if he is this character. I think this could be a great character for him. I always felt his mic skills weren't on tap with Bray, but his in-ring ability was. So maybe this could be something very good for Bo Dallas to work with his cousin, with his brother, and really work and hone in on his mic problems, and for Bray to really help him out and say, okay, here's what we need to do for this, here's what we need to do for that. I guarantee you that this is going to help Bo Dallas, if it is him. We then get Gunther versus Ricochet in what people are calling an all-time classic match, and I can't disagree, man. This was a great match between Gunther and Ricochet for this match for the Intercontinental Championship. Awesome match. Really, really had everything you want from an Intercontinental Championship match. There were swerves. There was that moment when you're thinking, Ricochet could fucking do this. He could fucking do this. Triple H was apparently waiting for him backstage and said, hey, that's what I want to see from you. I guarantee now, if Ricochet doesn't end up winning an Intercontinental Championship or United States Championship again, I can almost guarantee he's going to get pushed into a main event slot. This is a guy that Triple H really wants to focus on, and it's very clear from this match that he believes in Ricochet. Very clear. After the match, Braun Strowman would come out and basically run off Imperium from attacking Ricochet, and it was made official for next week's SmackDown. It will be a Miracle on 34th Street fight with Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus Imperium. Makes me happy to see that. It'll be fun, but there's still a lot. Apparently this match was pre-taped, and I'm not going to go into the review for next week's SmackDown because, even though it was pre-taped, I still have not seen it, so, I can't say anything about it. It was then announced it would be Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and a partner of his choosing for the last SmackDown of 2022. We'll get to the partner later on in the night. We then get Hit Row versus the Viking Raiders and Legado de Fantasma in a triple threat match to decide who will face the Usos next week for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Okay match, but let's face it, everybody's talking about the one thing in this match, which was a huge botch by Top Dollar going over the top rope. Apparently his foot got caught on the rope, which really sucks to see. I wish that he could have picked up that. I've seen video of him doing it when he was even heavier, so apparently it was just his foot got caught up. Accidents happen, and people are going to laugh at this. Shit goes down. You laugh for a few days. Now it's time for him to get back on the horse and be like, okay, time to show him what I'm really made of. Time to show him that I could actually do this and then some. So, Hit Row picks up the win, though, and they will now face the Usos next week for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. We then get SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler attacking Raquel Rodriguez in a backstage segment. I don't know, man. It's just, I really feel like there's really nothing they could do to save Ronda Rousey's second run in this company. She's just not there for me. It'll never be there for me. I wish I could understand the ability to book her, but I just can't. This is one that I would never want to book. We then get Roman Reigns coming out with the Bloodline. Apparently this was supposed to be the night where Sami Zayn was going to get the honorary taken away and he was just going to become officially Sami Uso. But that did not happen as John Cena appears on the Titantron and it is revealed that he is Kevin Owens' mystery partner for January 30th on SmackDown. Exciting to see. I love it. I want to see John Cena come back. It'll be his actual streak match because he has had a match in WWE for over 20 years. So, I love it. Very cool to see. Let's go, John Cena and Kevin Owens. This is going to be a fun match between Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and John Cena and Kevin Owens. Very exciting to see. Let's move on to Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Raw was as fun can be. Raw kicked off with Roman Reigns addressing Kevin Owens, basically saying, hey, my boys are here, and guess what? They're going to take out Raw. They're going to take out anyone who stands with Kevin Owens. We then get the Bloodline attacking Mustafa Ali. They attack Andre Chase. And then we get a tag team match of the Street Profits versus Judgment Day. You have Dominic Mysterio coming to the ring wearing sunglasses because of Asuka's attack on him last week with the mist. Dominic, actually, I will admit, this was kind of cool. Dominic looked pretty cool with the sunglasses. I thought that was pretty awesome. The Street Profits were able to pick up the win after Akira Tozawa provided a distraction, throwing some shit in Dominic's face. Rhea Ripley then followed Akira up the ramp and challenged him to a match, and we got an intergender match. Rhea Ripley versus Akira Tozawa, and Rhea Ripley picks up the win. Hits the Riptide, I remember what it was called this week, on Akira Tozawa and pins him. I guess they're really pitching that she is China, and they're trying to make Dominic Mysterio out to be Eddie Guerrero. And I think that's actually pretty smart. This could actually save Dominic's heel character if he's more Eddie Guerrero than Rey Mysterio. I really, truly believe that. We then get Dolph Ziggler, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin all backstage, and they're being attacked by the Bloodline. Everybody's getting the shit kicked out of them. Very fun to see that. It was definitely different. I really like what the Bloodline did this week. It was like a mini invasion of like, hey, it might not be SmackDown versus Raw anymore. It's us versus everybody. And I think that's awesome. The Bloodline, the Good Brothers then had a match with Alpha Academy. It's funny, I was watching a video the other day and it reminded me of the Shorty G character that Chad Gable was stuck with a little while back. And it's funny to see how far he's come since then, to see that he is now this. He is now a real star with the Alpha Academy again. So you know what? I love it. Great job by Chad Gable to come back. The Good Brothers would have a great match. They would actually hit the Magic Killer on Chad Gable to pick up the win. But it was after the match with the Bloodline attacking the OC. AJ Styles then challenged Sami Zayn to a match. I was so excited for this match because I really do feel it plays to both men's style. Not too big for AJ Styles and not too small for Sami Zayn. This guy, they're both the perfect height for each other, both the perfect match type. So I really felt this one was going to be good, and it was later on the night. But between that, we get Byron Saxton interviewing the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair and Little Miss Bliss. Learned that lesson too. Bianca said she doesn't trust Little Miss Bliss. And Little Miss Bliss basically talked about how she was captured by Bray Wyatt and turned into this thing she didn't like. So you know what? She felt Bianca Belair was trying to make this about Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt was not there. This is about Bliss versus Belair, and then the screen glitched to show Bray Wyatt's little image. Little Miss Bliss grabs the face and smashes it on Belair's head. So you know what? We got it. We got a heel turn by Little Miss Bliss. Bliss is now a heel, and this is going to be a fun one. We then get The Miz versus Dexter Lumis in a ladder match for the 2 bags of money. This is where this crowd really let me down. If I had to name a terrible thing this week that wasn't what I'm going to be for the Battle Droid of the Week, it would be this crowd. This crowd really let me down. Because I really felt this should have been a way bigger pop. But the crowd was like dead on Monday. I don't know what the fuck happened. It was a fun match. The Miz and Dexter going through tables, going through ladders. And the Dexter was about to grab the money when Bronson Reed shows up. Bronson Reed is back in WWE. I love this. This is so cool for me. I loved Bronson Reed when he was in NXT. Now he's going to be on the main roster. It really helps with what... This is one where Vince McMahon really fucked up. I felt that Bronson Reed was worth way more than what Vince McMahon ever gave him credit for. So him helping The Miz was awesome. Bronson Reed picks up the win. The Miz gets his money back, and now they have a real kind of feud going. Bronson Reed and The Miz versus Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. After this, we got Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles. Fun match. Really, everything that could happen did in this match. Sami Zayn ends up picking up the win after Solo Sikoa gets involved. Solo Sikoa really proving he is the number one guy for the Bloodline. And Sami Zayn getting the big needed win he needed for his push into the Bloodline. We then got Austin Theory and Seth Rollins coming out face to face talking about how they're better than each other. And I'll give Austin Theory this. He had the line of the night. It was a cold one of Seth Rollins is the number 3 best member of the Shield. So he's saying Jon Moxley and Roman Reigns are better than him. It's just, oh my God, that was a killer line, you know, and I'll give Theory credit where credit's due. That was, that one hurt. But the Usos came out and Seth said, hey, we'll finish this later. We got problems to deal with. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Theory slides out of the ring, leaving Seth to deal with them themselves. The Usos start beating down Seth, but Kevin Owens comes out and makes the save, and it's official. It'll be a tag team match for the main event of Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins versus the Usos. We then get Bayley versus Becky Lynch in your semi-main event. Awesome match, really good. I love these two colliding in NXT. I feel these two have an amazing chemistry. So, Becky Lynch versus Bayley, fun match, awesome job. Really enjoyed this. Bayley ends up picking up the win after Damage Control provided a distraction. So, Bayley picks up the win, but I really feel that these two can have a great program together. I really do. And then your main event, we got Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins versus the Usos. Great tag team match. Unbelievable. Seth Rollins actually taking out, I believe it was Jimmy on the outside, hitting a dive of suicida on the outside, and then getting clapped right by Theory with the United States Championship to the head. I don't know what Theory's plans are for WrestleMania. Apparently there's talk it might be John Cena. But, apparently the talk is it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. So, I don't know when this feud's going to stop. I don't know, but it's going to be a fun one. This is going to be fun as hell. And that was Monday Night Raw. If it wasn't for the crowd, this Monday Night Raw would have been perfect. But the crowd really brought this down for me. It felt like they were dead for the whole show. I really wish we could have gotten something better than this crowd. Let's move on to, ladies and gentlemen, WWE's Royal Rumble 2021. Oh, excuse me. In the Thunderdome. Great match. This one was definitely a fun one to look back on because I'm remembering it more fondly now of, oh wow, yeah, this match took place. Oh yeah, we had this go on. So let's look at the pre-shows. The pre-show had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Great match. I really enjoyed this because it really showed off Nia Jax's actual in-ring capability when she wasn't battling to hurt anyone. She was just fighting, and it was actually very nice to see Nia Jax actually just fight like she could, not with what she was told to do and how she could hurt people. This is when she was going through her big push in the tag team division. So fun to see this. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler pick up the win and are your new women's tag team championships. We then get to kick off the main show, Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg for the WWE Championship. This was awesome. Goldberg and Drew McIntyre, really just a clash and just big men just going at it. This wasn't a long match. It was a 2-minute, 30-second match, which, of course, we knew it was going to be. There was no question that this was going to be a quick match. Drew McIntyre actually kicking out of the jackhammer was something unbelievable. So, I love this. Drew McIntyre picks up the win with the Claymore. Fun to look back at that. We then get Sasha Banks versus Carmella with Reginald at ringside for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this is actually fun to look back on because there was a huge botch that almost broke Carmella's neck. Carmella would go for a suicide dive on the outside, and there's a reason that move is called a suicide dive, because if you do it wrong, it's basically suicide. She would go for it, and Sasha Banks would just be able to catch her. If Sasha Banks didn't catch her the perfect way, Carmella would have broken her neck and probably would have never wrestled again. So, shout out to Sasha Banks catching her perfectly. This was a cool match, but at the same time, that kind of makes you just hold your breath when you see moments like that. You're like, holy fuck. That shouldn't have happened. Sasha Banks was able to pick up the win, rolling Carmella into a Banks statement, kind of ending the match a little bit early, I imagine. I imagine you were supposed to go for a little bit more time. But, smart to end the match and just get Carmella backstage to where she could be looked at, make sure she doesn't have a concussion or a broken neck. After this, we got the Women's Royal Rumble. This was a very cool Royal Rumble. You have Bianca Belair enter third as a winner of this. I actually picked Bayley to win this, and she would enter number one, which is funny because, we got a great match by Bianca Belair being crowned at WrestleMania 37 with Sasha Banks, but it always pisses me off, especially now that apparently Sasha Banks is going to New Japan and is not coming back to WWE, that we are never going to get the WrestleMania match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bianca Belair would pick up the win here, last eliminating Rhea Ripley. She would go on to face Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. This was a fun little Thunderdome Royal Rumble. It was more of NXT coming into play. Not many Hall of Famers coming into play. Only one Hall of Famer in Tori Wilson. You would have Victoria and Jillian Hall who would come in. And you would have Alicia Fox. It was supposed to be a really cool, fun little match, but at the same time, it was just awesome to see them really throw in NXT and try to go for the full last push to beat AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars, even though they wouldn't. After this, we would get a last man, so Bianca Belair would pick up the win in a 58-minute match, so shout out to Bianca Belair. We would get Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match for Universal Championship. They would actually, I want to point out, they would actually steal a moment from AEW of having Kevin Owens get run down by a golf cart like they did with Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. So that makes me laugh a bit. That does make me laugh. Roman Reigns would pick up the win, and they would actually have to break the ref count as Paul Heyman could not get the handcuffs undone from Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns was handcuffed to a pole on the Titantron. That was supposed to be what they were going to do with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens handcuffs him, then you have Paul Heyman come out, uncuff him, cuff Kevin Owens, and that was supposed to be it. That's how the match was supposed to end. However, we didn't get that as they cuffed him the wrong way. Kevin Owens cuffed Roman Reigns the wrong way, and you had Paul Heyman like, I don't know what to do! I don't know what to do! Which makes me laugh my ass off, so I thought that was funny as hell. We then get Edge going into the Royal... So Roman Reigns retains, by the way, after they handcuff Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens can't get up. 10 count. Roman Reigns retains. We then get the Royal Rumble of... I did pick Edge to win this because originally the plan was supposed to be Randy Orton versus Edge at WrestleMania 37. They would make changes, and it was Edge going for the Universal Championship instead of him going for a WWE Championship supposed to be held by Randy Orton. Randy Orton would win it at Hell in a Cell, and if you actually watch the Thunderdome footage, I'm on Thunderdome holding up the WWE title, celebrating, saying, all right, Randy, off to WrestleMania we go. You versus Edge. Unfortunately, that never happened. Edge would win this Royal Rumble starting at number 1, so my two picks both enter at number 1. I just want to point that out. That pissed me off to no end. But he would win the Royal Rumble attacking Randy Orton to begin the match, and then you would have him versus Randy Orton to end the match. During this match, you would get a lot of really cool things. You would actually get the return of Christian, and it makes me wish that there was a live crowd for this match, because that crowd would have exploded. There would have been cheers, and that second of Randy Orton coming in, you have Edge and Christian reuniting in the ring, giving each other a hug. That would have been... That live crowd would have loved that. So, it makes me wish this did take place in front of a live crowd, but we understand COVID, it couldn't. Edge would last eliminate Randy Orton, picking up the win. Great to see. There wasn't that many big returns in this match, but there was enough to where you're going, oh, this is awesome. I enjoyed this. This was fun. It would start The Miz versus Bad Bunny, the Bad Bunny way for WrestleMania. A lot of things would start from this match of, you would have I'm trying to remember it correctly, kind of Apollo Crews and Big E start for WrestleMania, all that shit would go on. So it's fun to watch this and be like, okay, this was awesome to see. And it was actually a Royal Rumble I wanted to cover for one of my first episodes of Wrestling Made Simple, but I decided to hold off and wait to start Wrestling Made Simple until I saw WrestleMania 37 live. So this is a really fun Royal Rumble to show people, just be like, hey, this is what WWE's one main pay-per-view is about, the Royal Rumble. This is a fun one to look back on and be like, yeah, this is how we do for WWE, If I had to give this pay-per-view a grade, besides there not being a live crowd, I would say B+, B. fun matches. I wish there was a little more surprises besides Christian. But besides that, it was still fun. And also, I do want to point out, Billie Kay in the Women's Royal Rumble was the uncredited MVP of her with her resume, trying to find a new partner. And that really did make me laugh. Let's move on to your WWE Drink of the Week. This is the Washington Apple Cocktail. We've had the Washington Apple Bomb, now it's the Washington Apple Cocktail. As is 1 part Crown Royal Apple, sour apple schnapps, 1 part cranberry juice garnished with an apple slice. So you're going to add the ice, the whiskey, the apple schnapps, and the cranberry juice into a shaking glass and shake well. Strain over ice, serve into a mixing glass with ice, and garnish with an apple slice. Drink responsibly. This is a tasty cocktail you can have anytime you want. Fun cocktail to drink. Really knocks out that apple taste. And I'm sticking with the Crown Royal for the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. But please make sure you drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you are under 21 in the United States. And do not overconsume on alcohol. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. If Kane is in the ring for the Royal Rumble, you'd better hope that you aren't. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. I didn't know who I was going into today with, who was going to be the Battle Droid of the Week, but after I checked Twitter this morning, it came very obvious. The Battle Droid of the Week this week is Lacey Evans. Now, Lacey, I don't know if you were going for a joke, and I hope I can try to explain this well. Lacey Evans posted on Instagram through her story that she believed that ADHD and other mental illnesses, I'm trying to say that right because I won't say that I do have ADHD, I am on the spectrum with that, and other special needs illnesses were not invented till 1980 and they're fake. Lacey Evans, I hope that she was trying to make a joke of this and she was saying like, oh, look at these idiots saying it wasn't invented till 1980. That's what I could hope. If not, Lacey Evans, how can you be so fucking stupid? You are a U.S. Marine. Show more promise than that. I get standing up for what you believe in. I completely understand it. Your personal belief should not completely affect you. Now, I know I'm kind of negating this by saying this. Again, I'm someone on the spectrum. Do you know how offensive this was to me? I sit there and it's one of the saddest things that I have to do. I cannot concentrate on a conversation. I'm always looking around, looking for something else. Now, don't get me wrong, there are benefits to it. For one, I'm extremely creative, and I truly believe that the ADHD has made me extremely creative, extremely more energized and happy to talk to people. That is true. But it is also a bitch. It's affecting my memory. It's affecting me as a person. To where sometimes I'm afraid to talk to new people because I'm worried they're going to think that I think they're boring because I have to keep looking around. It hurts. It's sad. I failed classes. I basically have flunked out of college because I couldn't concentrate. And you know what? That pisses me off that people think that this isn't real. Fuck you. And for that, Lacey Evans, one, you've lost me as a fan if this is what you were... I hope she comes out on Twitter and says, hey, this isn't what I believe. I was trying to make fun of these idiots. And you know what? Then I will give her the biggest apology ever. I would say, hey, you know what? I completely understand that. A joke went wrong. Lord knows we've all made the jokes that went wrong. We all have. And I'm not saying cancel her. I'm saying let her learn from her mistakes. And you know what? If she truly wants to... And if she truly does think like, oh, wow, maybe I did fuck up. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Then you know what, Lacey? Donate to people to help. Donate to special needs charities. Donate to people who really need it for this. Otherwise, Lacey Evans, congratulations. You are the Battle Droid of the Week.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have been the Big Guy. I hope you've enjoyed this week in wrestling. We're getting closer and closer to a Royal Rumble. So... soon, we will be on the road to WrestleMania and on the road to SoFi Stadium in LA. Have a great week in wrestling.